Today, we will be discussing the importance of focusing on the basics in order to achieve success in any field. Whether it is sports, music, or business, mastering the basics lays the foundation for achieving excellence. In this video, we will explore why the basics matter, the role of consistency in mastering the basics, the 80/20 rule, and strategies for staying committed to the basics. So let's dive in. Understanding the basics. First, let's define what we mean by the basics. The basics are the fundamental principles, skills, and knowledge required to excel in any field. They are the building blocks upon which all other skills and techniques are built. In sports, the basics might include proper form, technique, and conditioning. In music, the basics might include scales, chords, and rhythm. In business, the basics might include customer service, marketing, and financial management. Understanding the basics is critical for success because they provide a solid foundation upon which you can build your skills. Without a strong foundation, any progress made in a field will be limited and unstable. For example, if you are learning to play the guitar, without understanding basic chords and scales, you will struggle to play more advanced pieces. Similarly, in sports, without proper form and technique, you may not be able to perform more complex maneuvers. In business, without understanding the basics of customer service, you may struggle to build a loyal customer base. Why the basics matter? So why do the basics matter? Why not just jump straight into advanced techniques and strategies? The answer is simple. The basics are the foundation for success. In order to achieve excellence, you must first master the basics. This is true in any field, from sports to music to business. Let's look at some examples of successful people who credit their success to mastering the basics. Take basketball legend Michael Jordan, for example. Jordan is widely considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He credits his success to mastering the basics of the game, including proper form, footwork, and conditioning. By focusing on the basics, Jordan was able to build a solid foundation upon which he could develop more advanced skills. Another example is world-renowned pianist Lang Lang. Lang Lang started playing the piano at the age of 3, and has since become one of the most celebrated pianists in the world. He credits his success to mastering the basics of piano playing, including scales, chords, and finger exercises. By mastering these basics, Lang Lang was able to develop the technical skills required to play more advanced pieces with ease. The same is true in business. Take Richard Branson, for example. Branson is the founder of Virgin Group, which includes more than 400 companies in a wide range of industries. Branson credits his success to focusing on the basics of business, including customer service, marketing, and financial management. By mastering these basics, Branson was able to build a strong foundation for his business empire. Consistency is key. So we know that mastering the basics is critical for success, but how do we go about doing so? The answer is simple: consistency. Consistent practice of the basics is key to mastering them. Let's take the example of learning a new language. In order to become fluent in a language, you must first master the basics of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. This requires consistent practice over a period of time. By practicing the basics consistently, you will develop a strong foundation upon which you can build more advanced skills, such as conversational fluency. The same is true in sports. In order to master the basics of a sport, such as proper form and technique, you must practice consistently over a period of time. This means dedicating time each day to practice these basics, even when you may not see immediate improvement. By practicing consistently, you will gradually develop the skills necessary to excel in your sport. Consistency is not just important in the early stages of learning, but also as you continue to develop your skills. Even once you have mastered the basics, you must continue to practice them consistently in order to maintain your skills and build upon them. This means dedicating time each day to practice the basics, even when you may be tempted to focus on more advanced techniques and strategies. The 80/20 rule. Another reason why the basics matter is because of the 80/20 rule. The 80/20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, states that 80% of results come from 20% of the effort. This means that by focusing on the most important 20% of basics, you can achieve 80% of your desired results. Let's take the example of learning a new skill. In order to become proficient in a skill, such as playing the guitar, you must master a range of basics, including chords, scales, and rhythm. However, not all of these basics are created equal. By focusing on the most important 20% of basics, such as learning a few key chords and strumming patterns, you can achieve 80% of your desired results. This means that you can achieve a high level of proficiency in a skill by focusing on the most important basics and not getting bogged down by less important details. The same is true in business. By focusing on the most important basics, such as providing excellent customer service and managing your finances effectively, you can achieve 80% of your desired results. This means that you can build a successful business by focusing on the most important basics and not getting bogged down by less important details. Overcoming the temptation to skip the basics. While we know that the basics are critical for success, it can be tempting to skip them and jump straight into more advanced techniques and strategies. There are several common excuses for skipping the basics, including, "I don't have time to focus on the basics. The basics are boring. I already know the basics." However, these excuses are just that, excuses. In order to achieve success, you must commit to mastering the basics, even when it may be challenging or time-consuming. So how can you overcome these excuses and stay committed to the basics? Here are some strategies. Make the basics a priority. Schedule time each day to practice the basics, even if it means sacrificing time spent on more advanced techniques and strategies. Find ways to make the basics more interesting. Try different approaches to practicing the basics, such as using games or apps to make them more engaging. Embrace the process. Remember that mastering the basics is a journey, and it takes time and effort to achieve success. Embrace the process and enjoy the journey. In conclusion, focusing on the basics is critical for success in any field. By mastering the fundamentals, you can build a solid foundation upon which you can develop more advanced skills and techniques. Consistent practice of the basics is key to mastering them, and by focusing on the most important 20% of basics, you can achieve 80% of your desired results. While it may be tempting to skip the basics, it is important to stay committed to mastering them in order to achieve success. So remember, do the basics and you'll get the results.